Awesome. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Biddeford, Maine for Status Coup News and MeidasTouch Network. I am Andrew Mercado reporting here live as protests have continued into day 5. Just down the road here from where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed in cold blood by ICE agents on Monday evening. Status Coup News got here on the ground Tuesday and have been out here providing coverage on the ground every single day, talking to the community, trying to get answers because this ICE terror continues to ravish city by city, small towns, massive cities. It doesn't matter. We've been covering it from California, and now here we are in Maine. We were just in New Jersey. We've been all over the United States covering this ICE terror, and now it reaches Maine, and we are here on the ground. We're going to be going and talking to some people here in the protest. I would say there's, a couple hundred people behind us right now. They have various signs. We were outside the donut shop where ICE gathers this morning. There was a local protest gathered over in Scarborough, Maine. About 20, 30 people showed up. We're going to have reporting for that exclusive on Status Coup News. And again, guys, for less than $5 a month, we have been the only independent news, the only news on the ground out here in Biddeford, Maine, in Scarborough, Maine, in Portland, Maine. Wherever we need to go to provide the story, we're going to do it. So statuscoup.com/join. Please consider supporting for less than $5. It's less than a coffee. And you guys can continue supporting excellent independent media. Big update before we get into the crowd this morning. Mark Wayne Mullen put out that, he straight up threatened state officials if they don't release their voter rolls, which again, they already are. Everything that came out yesterday. And actually, I'm going to read some notes that I had taken because I watched and reacted to the entire Trump speech yesterday, which you can find on Mercado Media. But we reacted to the whole thing, and basically, Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen threatened states they could lose certain federal election-related funding if they refuse to comply with the Trump administration's election security directives, which again are the exact same directives that we've had in place. Nothing has changed. I looked through the documents yesterday on stream. Status Coup News is also reporting the same thing. MeidasTouch Network reporting the same things because we're going through these documents. The administration is pushing states to clean up voter rolls and adopt additional election security measures ahead of the 2026 midterms. Again, there's zero problems with the voter rolls. Republican Thomas Massey put out on Twitter yesterday that, hey, even in Kentucky, the voter rolls are good to go. You got to pay a small fee, but you can access the voter rolls. They're not hidden. It's not something that, is like a conspiracy that the Trump administration is trying to craft here. The administration claims it identified more than 250,000 potential non-citizens on voter rolls in California, New Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. However, the administration has not publicly released evidence supporting that figure. They don't. They just say it. Okay, they just say things and then you're supposed to believe it. There's no other way to put it. I'm not going to dress it up for you guys. That's exactly what this administration is expecting from people that hear their messages. Okay, it's just truly just narratives. Mark Wayne Mullen said that DHS will continue reviewing voter rolls for alleged non-citizens, deceased individuals, and others believed to be ineligible to vote, which is also part of this ICE terror, you guys. That's why they're targeting specific blue states and blue cities, right? Especially like in Minnesota when, Tim Walz, who's our governor, was running for vice president. That is one of Trump's political enemies. So ICE cracking down and having quotas of black and brown people they have to pick up off the street, violating the Fourth Amendment every single day. That's part of their attack on the upcoming elections. And also, I want to reiterate to you guys that Donald Trump has all the time in the day to investigate 2020 election fraud, which doesn't exist. And then in his speech yesterday, he gave us multiple documents, which is about Venezuelan elections, and then actually gave credibility to the Russian collusion reporting himself, because it's in there. Oh, Russia's one of the biggest countries influencing our elections. Hello? Were you not here in the 2016 election? That's the entire Mueller report. So Trump actually had us verify all of the election fraud from 2016 through his own documents that he put out on whitehouse.gov last night. And truly nothing new was revealed. But they have time for all of that. But we still don't have answers on the Epstein files. We continue to fund AI. We continue to destroy our natural resources for big tech, big pharma, the military-industrial complex, and forever wars in the Middle East. I served. I was a veteran. I went to Kuwait. I was part of the war on terror, okay? I'm a forever war veteran, all right? Because that's just the way it feels. So when all that money is going towards, well, IDF-trained ICE agents, or not even trained ICE agents, because as we found out, the ICE agent responsible for killing Joan Sebastian Guerrero was David Michael Brulette, a 37-year-old from Manchester, whose ex-wife and other family members said he had a volatile past and he was abusive. They contacted the army and they said that he had PTSD problems. Essentially, every stereotype that we have seen from these ICE agents in terms of their volatility, their unprofessionalism, who knows what's going on inside of their head. And then these guys are out on the streets murdering civilians, right? Again, breaking Fourth Amendment rights. It doesn't matter if you're an American citizen, if you're here through the legal process like Joan Sebastian Guerrero was doing. He was exercising the legal process of becoming a citizen in this country. He was an upstanding member of this society, of this community. He was a father, he was a husband, and he did not deserve to be gunned down by this federal government, all right? So we're going to get into this crowd behind me. We're going to talk to the locals that live here, get their perspective so you guys at home can understand what Bedford, Maine is truly about, all right? Let's get it. See, guys, this is... Hate does not make us great is what they are chanting. They're saying hate will not make us great. Seeing various signs here. You got Stop ICE Murderers. Teens should not have to protest the actions of adults. As John's panning to the left, the enemy doesn't arrive by boat, he arrives by limousine. You got Save Democracy signs. You got 86, Miller, Mullen, Homan, and Trump. Signs that say, outright, hate will not make us great. Okay? You got some fuck ICE signs, stop ICE signs, do not give the police state 1 inch. ICE is state violence. You got justice now. You got a cart girls just drove by and said ICE out, cheering and giving praise to the protest. Susan Collins has blood on her hands. Give me your tired, give me your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And then you got an individual standing up there that says Donnie T is a little fucking bitch. Oh yeah. Okay. Speaking of, you got Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War Pete Hegseth saying that we have a high T Department of War again. And you know, as a veteran, I'm very thankful I am no longer serving in this military that we got, because it's very embarrassing to see those messages. More messages from the protesters, lawless, ICE, your money. You got more against Susan Collins, that she's complicit. Okay, you got, this is the government the founders warned us about. Okay, individuals with various fuck ICE signs. ICE out of our communities, abolish ICE, ICE out for good. We got abolish ICE, protect human rights. Over here, guys, tons of signs. Abolish ICE, no kings is standing out here. We got no kings. Don't call your racism patriotism. And then it says Republican admin, racism is not patriotism, further down the road. Okay, guys, just reading some of the various signs that we're seeing here. Stop ICE murderers. I would not want to hide my face to. Just following orders. And then it's a picture of an ICE agent. The, which one? The big one, Republican? Patriotism. Awesome, let's do it. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm Mercado Media with Status Quo News. Would you be interested in just, I'm Mercado Media with Status Quo News. We're an independent news platform. We're just sharing the truth about what's happening, talking to people that are actually out here. And we're wondering if you would like to share your perspective. Just a minute or two. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So I got my cameraman here. We can, do you want to hold his time for him while he does it? I won't take too much of his time. All right, sir. I appreciate you. Why don't you go ahead and give us your name for the stream?
Sure. Steve Frolking.
Steve, are you from this community?
No, live in New Hampshire.
You live in New Hampshire. What brings you to Bedford?
The events of the past week, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about it. What's disgusting about it?
People getting killed. I don't know a lot of the details of this particular event, but it's just outrageous behavior. I think the sign says part of it. It's racist and focused. It's an ugly administration.
Yeah. Yeah, and the cruelty of it all, right, that we see. I mean, clearly, you're not from this community, but you're here on the ground, and what happened up the road is, it should never happen.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on, do you feel like this is an issue?
I'm done now.
Say?
Done now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
This woman with the pictures.
Okay, for sure. Would you like to... Hi, I'm Andrew Mercado from Status Quo News. Oh, awesome. Would you be okay with just a quick interview? Is it
Yeah.
For sure.
Bring the fam in.
You guys can stand together. You want to answer?
Sure.
Okay, we'll switch. Cool. All right. Well, first of all, just introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Griffin Hughes.
Griffin, are you from Bedford?
Not originally, but my mother lives up here in Saco, and I've been coming up to Maine my whole life. So I grew up sort of like coming to the beaches over in OP, and it's devastating that it happened here.
Did you ever think that this would come to Bedford and so close to home?
No, never in a million years. And I would imagine, I think that's why we have so many people turning out today, why everybody's showing support. It's one of those things where you look down the street, you drive down that corner every day. And I don't think anybody ever expected that we would be witnessing a murder by ICE in Bedford.
Exactly. And talk about that more, because, we've been covering this ICE terror like across cities in Chicago, Minneapolis, and now here we are in Maine. You had Operation Catch of the Day earlier in the year. Have you seen like a change in ICE tactics or like ICE capabilities? Have they stopped at all in this time period?
I mean, I would say they seem to have accelerated more than anything else. I would argue that their MO seems to be to create fear, create confusion with individuals in cars. I think you see them admitting that their officer, quote-unquote officer, was not in danger. It was for public safety, was his excuse for murdering. And I think essentially we are just watching them create division, create confusion, and then use that as an opportunity to kill people.
And then when we hear that the killer was he had PTSD, he was an abusive individual. What are your thoughts on that when we have those type of individuals serving in ICE or in the federal government?
Well, I would say it's unsurprising. I mean, I think that is exactly the kind of individual they're hoping to attract. It's people who bought into this idea that they'd be paid $50,000 to go and join ICE and, get to chase down and murder immigrants. So it's all these people who think that immigrants are taking their jobs when in reality it's people here. It's just people in America. They're not qualified for the work, clearly.
Yeah, they're not qualified at all, and they're getting paid so much money, right, to do this. And then we have issues with health care, affordability, right? Like people like I don't know how old you are, but I'm in my 30s. People are having to work multiple jobs just to get by.
Yeah.
And then we got the federal government out here doing whatever they want.
Exactly, and I think you look at Susan Collins, who personally was the deciding vote to raise the ICE budget to $80 billion, and, you look at all the money that's being sent overseas, and, we're told incessantly that there's no money for social programs, there's no money for student loan forgiveness, there's only money for the military, and there's only money for border control. So I think it's pretty despicable, and I think most people of our generation and of every generation feel the same way.
What are your thoughts coming up for the election? Do you feel that this is an issue that can be voted out? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, clearly there needs to be an abolishment. I don't think there's any reforming ICE. I don't think you can change their strategies. I don't think they want to change their strategies. So I think the only option is to try to vote these people out, to try to speak with our votes. And, I hope for the best for the Maine Democrats. I hope they put forward the best candidate and the candidate that represents the voters and the way they spoke in the primary.
Do you have any in mind right now?
I would say I'm leaning towards Troy Jackson just based on what I've seen from him. But, I think anybody who is not going to appease these, Republican voters, that we don't need another Democrat or another Republican claiming to be a Democrat.
So it's more like, you know, the status quo and like returning back to the business as like what is business as usual now? You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's destroyed.
I 100% agree with you. I don't think there's any going back to the old way. There's only what can we change, what can we do differently, and if we don't do anything differently, this is going to continue.
Absolutely. What's your name one more time, buddy?
Griffin Hughes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, buddy.
Pleasure.
I actually wanted to get to this sign.
Yeah.
Please talk about that because a lot of MAGA, a lot of people who are supporting this think they're patriots, they're hardcore Americans, and anybody who's against it is not American. So, if you can, just explain this.
Yeah, by all means. So this sign actually I made several months ago when we were protesting at Christmas, and essentially I think the right has co-opted this idea of patriotism. They think they're the only ones that can be patriotic, and the only way to be patriotic is by being America first, which is essentially like a white nationalist idea. So really, I think it's up to people like us, people on the left, to reclaim some degree of patriotism. You know, I obviously have my reservations about the country. I have my reservations about everything going on in the world and our role in it. But with that said, you have to be patriotic. Otherwise, we're just giving it away. We're giving it away to the right.
I agree, especially with some of the various messages that they do say, you know, crafting about what patriotism means, you know, especially as a veteran. You know, we fight with that in the veteran community about like what's a real veteran, if you stand with the system, or if you start criticizing it, you start being viewed differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think criticism of the system is perhaps the most American thing we can do. I think we were born out of revolution. We were born by, you know, a group of individuals who decided, no, that enough is enough. We are not going to set taxes by a foreign nation. We're going to revolt. We're going to create our own society. And I think they would be pretty upset with the way we've gone in the past 10 years in particular.
All right. Perfect.
Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
I want to show, hold on, because I don't know if I showed it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll be here for a couple more.
Again, guys, the sign says, don't call your racism patriotism. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love your sign.
You want to tell us
What you
why
wanna
you're
tell
out
us?
here in the heat and just standing out?
Yep. I'm not that short.
No, it's plenty. Yeah, they can hear you. They can hear you for sure.
I've been on this bridge for like a year and a half. Originally up there and now down here because they're doing construction up on the train station. Anyway, so...
Did you start coming up here because of Operation Catch Up Today? Is that why you started?
No.
She said a year ago.
No, long before that.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to do something, and this, you know, was something I could do. My husband and I, he's not here, but you know.
Sorry, ma'am.
What's that? Of the sign? Okay. Yeah, you good. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. We're alive. We're an independent media, so you know how it goes.
Yes.
So your husband.
My husband would be here, but he's away right now. But he and I come out and the snow, the rain, the heat, and everything in between. And sometimes there's 10 of us.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's 40.
Yeah.
We've been here for the last couple No Kings things. And we've just got to do something to stand up against this fascist regime. It's not it's only the minority of the people who are causing all this damage, and it's so anti everything that this country stands for. And little by little, it's been just chipping away. And Susan Collins is a disaster.
Yes.
A disaster. She gets on TV and she talks about the one person, the one girl that she helped get teeth. And meanwhile, she's voted against the health care bill.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, she's so health care. Come on. If that girl had insurance, she wouldn't have needed Susan Collins. So, not to, talk bad about that this girl got some help.
Right.
But please, give me a freaking break. She's so disgusting. I was here on Monday walking up the hill during the march, and some lady was walking around, and she was clearly a tourist.
Yeah.
And she's looking around, and I said, "Do you know what's going on?" And she had no idea. So I filled her in, and she said, so they were walking. I was in the shade. They were walking up to Susan Collins' office, and she said, "Is Susan Collins here?" I said, I said, "She's never here. Never here. She wouldn't dare to show her face here. I'll do whatever it takes."
Absolutely. And you said you've been here since last year, so you've been at the No Kings protests. Like, you've been protesting this administration since Trump took over again.
This is probably 3 No Kings that I've been through. I'm a senior citizen. I don't always feel good, but I drag myself out here anyway, most of the time.
Why do you feel the need to get out there? Why, even if you don't feel good?
My kids and my grandchildren and everybody else's. I won't be around. I'm 70. Maybe I'll be around. But I'm not going to be around to see this country renew itself to the degree that it's going to look like a place somebody wants to live. I mean, climate change. Look at what's going on, with the smoke fires, and oh my gosh.
It's climate change, the funding of the military and the forever wars. It's like kind of all connected, right? Like the deterioration of what we're seeing right now.
Voter suppression.
Yep.
God, the list goes on and on.
No health care, no education,
Exactly.
nothing for the people. Everything for war. Destruction.
Yeah, Susan Collins voted to kill SNAP.
Yeah, what the hell?
There are children who are hungry.
Yeah.
What the hell? It just makes me sick.
The evil of it all, right?
Oh my gosh. Never in my life did I think at this age I'd be out protesting, But yeah, it is evil.
Are you a resident here in Biddeford?
Saco.
Saco, so right next door. Did you ever think, when it comes to the ICE terror that we've been seeing, because you said you've been protesting No Kings, but the ICE specific horror that we're seeing, did you ever think this would come so close to home?
Well, I have to say I'm appalled, but I'm not surprised. It can happen anywhere. I'm old enough to realize that this stuff is going to happen anywhere. You look at, they've been all over the state. Portland, Biddeford, Lewiston, who knows, all kinds of places, rounding people up. And the killing of this young man who's just trying to make it, who, yeah, he had a job, he was supporting a family, working.
Upstanding member of the community.
Yeah, very kind, very, very respectful from what I hear from the neighbors, and not even the right target. And the answer from ICE is, he wasn't our target, but moving right along,
Trying to cover it up immediately.
like, oh well,
Yeah.
oops, yeah, not important enough because he has brown skin.
And that's what we've seen in other cities too. Is we've covered this in Chicago, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and they're breaking the Fourth Amendment. They're just stopping and frisking, and if you have brown skin, they're targeted.
Yeah, because of this stupid quota.
Yeah.
It's much easier to round up anybody and everybody rather than to do the work to find the actual criminals.
Exactly.
And this It's sick. Who would want to come and live here? I've got two, my daughter-in-law and son-in-law. Well, my daughter-in-law is an immigrant from Brazil, and my son-in-law is the son of immigrants from Central America. So, you know, my grandchildren have that blood.
Yeah.
But even if I didn't have that connection, you know, we're all immigrants.
Yeah.
Look at this town. These mills were built on the backs of French, Canadian, Irish, and even Armenian people. It's sickening.
What do you want people to know about Saco or about Biddeford? What do you want people Saco? What do you want people to know about where you're from in Biddeford as well?
We are a tight and fierce community. Not fierce, you know, we're gentle. We are kind to our neighbors. We look out for each other. It's an amazing place to be. Biddeford is up and coming. Years ago, when they had the smokestack from this Maine energy to recycling or whatever, it was like a ghost town because the smell was so horrific. Once they took that out, now we've got restaurants and chefs that have been lauded by the top food critics in the world.
Right.
So, I mean, that's all it took was, and just the art and the culture is just so alive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've just got such a rich culture.
And it's important to preserve that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are not gonna pack us away. It doesn't matter what they do. You know, we're tough. Mainers are tough, resilient, and we don't want anybody bossing us around.
Exactly. One more time, ma'am. What is your name?
Debbie.
Debbie. Thank you so much for your time, Debbie. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Debbie.
We'll see you around.
We'll see you. Okay, guys, you just heard from Debbie, who's a Saco resident. Very, very close. Hello, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Hello.
You want to talk?
You feel like talking?
No? That's all right.
It's okay. That's okay. It's fine.
They just like fucking slaughtered somebody. That's all I have to say about it.
Point blank. That's what it is.
Talk. I mean, I could say.
Why don't you just talk about it? Talk about what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a couple towns down from my house, and I saw Susan Collins, who was instrumental in giving ICE all that money. I saw her on a reporter interview, and she said she was bragging about how she did everything to safeguard ICE, to put all these safeguards on ICE. And then this guy's murdered. Have you seen his background? Like, he has a long history of domestic violence. He threw boiling water on a baby. He's like a total maniac. Like, what are the safeguards that they put on ICE? That's what I want to know.
I guess there are none. You know, we've traveled across the country. They are all alike.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a tragedy. I mean, his sweet wife was on the. She made a statement last night about how much he loved his baby. I mean, it was just so disgusting. He was a legal guy going to work. Whatever.
It's the same story all over every time. It's the same story. Hard working person, loving family, family man, mother, father. Same story.
Yeah, it's like they funded a death squad with our tax dollars. It's horrible.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Guys, if you're just tuning into the live, we're live on Status Quo News and MeidasTouch Network. We're live here in Biddeford, Maine, following the ICE killing of 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero. There's cameras over there, John. Cameras in there gathering. It might be a speaker. But you guys can see there are, a couple hundred people here. Just down the street, just off Water Street here. just off the General Wallace H. Nutting Memorial Bridge. You got police here that made sure they put T-walls up so that way the protests could exercise their First Amendment right peacefully. We have heard the locals praise their local police, actually, in terms of allowing them to protest, and they haven't crushed their protests like we have seen in other states and cities, unfortunately. So we're going to go into the crowd a little bit, show you guys some more of the protests. You got various signs saying "ICE out." If you can look away, look within. Again, guys, just to remind you, while John's showing you the crowd, Status Quo News has been on the ground covering these very protests for over a year straight now. Especially on the ground covering what ICE has been doing, terrorizing our cities.
Sorry, guys. I sent Andrew to go over and ask a veteran if he would like to speak. Yeah, so I don't know where Andrew left off, but if you appreciate us being out here on the ground, wherever we need to be, no matter what the temperature is, no matter what the conditions are, no matter if there's tear gas, pepper spray, rubber bullets, horses, we will be there with the people on the ground showing you the truth of what's happening. So if you appreciate that, support us, keep us here, statusquo.com/join, and leave a super chat if you can. Thank you very much.
What's your name? Mike.
How you doing, Mike? I'm John. John, nice to meet you. Hey, come. Let's have you guys over here. Mike, I'll have you.
All right. So we're here with Mike, who's a Marine Corps veteran.
Yeah.
You're from Biddeford. Tell us about it. Tell what brings you out here. What are you feeling right now? What do you think? What are you thinking?
Disappointment, shame. Just for. I feel disappointment for the community and ashamed of how this country's kind of gone to hell in a handbag. When I served, it was, threats from overseas, foreign threats. But now it's really internal. That's why my sign, Trump equals treason. As far as I'm concerned, he's breaking everything in the Constitution, rights, this poor gentleman that died, a couple of days ago, it's really affected me because, he's a human first before he was Colombian.
Yeah.
We're humans before we're Americans. Where did that go? It's not computing, so, I'm hoping that stuff like this, rallies, maybe we can convince those that put him in power, to kind of flip the switch, Something should connect at some point. It shouldn't be a loss of life that, I can see from the building I live in. Like you say, it's your backyard now. So,
Did you ever think that this would come so close to home? We and John, we've been covering ICE terror, murders in various cities across the country, and now here we are in your backyard. Did you ever think this would come here?
It's like a virus. It spreads, so eventually it was going to make it here. Like a mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine, not too long ago. There's mass shootings in Texas, but it's still my business. I still care because it's going to come to my doorstep eventually. So being prepared ahead of time is what people should be doing. The Constitution's a living document. If you don't take care of it, it's going to die. It's living, so this next election is really important from the standpoint of it's a living document. We can have amendments. We can change things, but only if people get on the same page.
And what are your thoughts on the upcoming election? Do you feel ICE? Can it be voted out? Or if there's a politician, what position should they take again right now?
They should take the position of, maybe not abolishing ICE. There's always compromises as far as I'm concerned. But you got to follow the rules, you know. We're all humans first. Everybody has certain rights, it's not written just in our Constitution, but around the world. There's other democracies. So, it's something where, for me, I can't just say, I'm going to go blue straight down the ballot, but there needs to be an overwhelming majority, to get things done. And, through times like this, I'm a firm believer there's going to be some great leaders that come out of this big pile of crap that we're in right now. Through adversity builds strength. So we're going through adversity now. It's too bad individuals, names are going to be forgotten. There's walls built for soldiers, ex-military, so their names aren't forgotten. But, tell me who died in the Civil War. People forget and stuff. But it's I'm here for not just myself and for my country, but my grandchildren, my children. It's my legacy. I don't know what people out there are thinking. Who cares about the money? You could leave them a boatload of money, your kids, your grandkids, but I want to leave my kids a legacy. I think we all do at some point. It's easier to do when you're on your deathbed. So right now is the time for people to stand up and act.
And what you're doing is so important when you talk about the future, when we're seeing this administration want to give money to AI or forever wars in the Middle East. You're a veteran. When you see ICE agents making so much money, and then our veterans that are still struggling, that served in these foreign wars, you served in the Marine Corps. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as far as Trump goes, it's a power grab. He's not going to want to give it up. He showed it once before. That wasn't a shocker to me. He's in a power grab, and as we get closer to the election, my preparedness is even more because you don't know what's going to happen. He's not going to want to give up power. The people that have backed him and the people that support him, they're fearful. They're going to be fearful because they know they'll be prosecuted. They know they're going to prison. Not all of them, but there's going to be a fair amount of people. And right now, they're the ones in power. So this November, if it doesn't change, we might as well just beat China and Russia and look to them, because things are going to change. Without protest and without freedom of the press, we're China, we're Russia. It's that simple.
And then when you see some of the comments Trump's making, trying to say protesters like this are terrorists, or Antifa or whatever, and it's, from what I can see, is just regular people or community members that like you said, you live here.
Absolutely. Nobody heard fake news before Trump. It's just like when you're a kid, not to be wise and stuff, but whoever smelt it dealt it, right? That's what we all did. That's what Trump did with fake news. He got the fake news out there first, saying it was the other side, and people believed him. Trump is the National Enquirer from when I was a kid.
Yeah. That magazine we would see in the store.
Right, exactly. That's what Trump is. Anything that he says, anything that comes out of his mouth, I don't believe him one bit. He's not the normal politician that'll just lie a little bit, maybe a little corrupt. This guy is full-blown dictator and stuff, and he's not going to give up power. I don't understand how he got elected a second time. I don't understand. To me, it's treasonous. I'd bring him up on charges. If I was king, which he wants to be, I'd bring him up on charges. It's just so confusing right now and stuff. Their emotions and everything runs rampant. But I'm an antique dealer. I love history. History repeats itself. So you guys would appreciate this. Minneapolis, all these things that are going on, deportations, all that stuff. I just sold a newspaper to a guy who's going to start a museum in Bisbee, Arizona, and it's going to be centered around a mass deportation they had in 1916, where the sheriff, there were miners striking. He arrested 1,200 miners, put them on boxcars, and shipped them to New Mexico and dropped them off in the desert. It's actual fact. It was in these newspapers I just sold to this guy a couple days ago. And it's amazing, 100 and something years later, that we're dealing with somebody like Trump, who's just throwing people on buses without, proper cause, and it can happen to anybody and stuff. I mean, what would any of us do if we just, an unmarked car pulled up and they came over? I would think it's a carjacking. I'm going to defend myself. Well, no, if you do now, you're going to get shot.
Exactly, and that's why we saw people in like Minneapolis when we had 4,000 federal agents, and you could just see the federal vehicles, and they were just rolling up on
Freddie and stuff. Yeah, I'm familiar with all of them. I mean, everything that's gone on. I'm not familiar with what happened to Houston and stuff as much, but it's too bad. I mean, it's not hard to believe that somebody might be scared and might want to flee, even if they're legal and stuff, just a U.S. citizen and stuff, If I think it's a carjacking or somebody's coming after me, my kids are in the back of my grandkids, I'm going to try to take off. It doesn't mean I'm trying to kill somebody and steal my car. I'm going to try to flee. I'm going to protect myself. So now you get shot because of that? Nah, there's supposed to be safeguards in place, and there isn't, because ICE has turned into what Hitler used to have, the SS. It's his own personal goon squad. He's implementing these things. He's getting rid of departments. So, Department of Education, one of the first departments to go, because you need to keep the people down. Just like in the 1850s, 60s, 40s, the plantation owners, you had to keep the black person down, because a well-educated black person was a threat. Well-educated public is a threat to Trump and the majority of Republicans.
Especially when for me at least, it seems like an us versus them. Like, the elites, the billionaire class versus, the left or right?
He's trying to spread fear. Hitler did that and stuff, He spread fear into the German population, so he had an agenda, and he convinced them all they had to take care of the Jews. He spread, inflation was running rampant. He took care of inflation by building up the military sector. Everybody had jobs, they were happy, and they followed right in line. This guy's doing no different. It's history repeating itself. Again, it always does, but somebody like me or a lot of us, people out here, or, there's plenty of history professors, maybe students and stuff, you see the signs and you understand, it's happening again, right?
Absolutely. What do you want people to know about your community that might not be from here, whether it be protest related or anything? Like, what do you want people at home to know about Biddeford?
It's a melting pot community. We all have our traces back to foreign countries, Ireland, Italy, whatever. At one time they were spit upon, so it's a melting pot, and you can see by today a nice peaceful protest. This is what the democracy is about, and so what the Constitution's about. So like I said before,
that's what you fought for when you served in the Marines.
That's what I fought for. That's what I took the oath for. The Constitution, not for a particular person, it wasn't for Reagan when I was in, it wasn't for Clinton, it wasn't for any politician and stuff. It was for that document, the living document. Now you're trying to squash it? Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I got 2 little grandkids, no effing way. Before it was kids, okay? Now they're older, they got their own lives. 2 grandkids? No, not on my watch. I'll do what I need to do and stuff, peacefully. I always looked at Martin Luther King. There's plenty of peaceful people out there in history and stuff. That's the way to do it first.
They often say, what would you have done during those times? And,
exactly
here you are.
And stuff. I would have done exactly like this. Somebody lays a hand on me or one of my neighbors, that's different, Then you have to go with instinct, There's a place for violence, but for me, I'd rather say defense, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at today. And a lot of my brothers and a lot of friendships throughout the years because of stuff like this, but it's called growth. If you don't grow, you don't lose friendships, right?
Exactly. One more time, sir. What is your name? Actually, we got one more question from John.
Go, Mike. I know we got speakers coming up, but if you could reach these ICE agents, if you could reach the National Guard or anybody who is taking these orders and just following orders, illegal orders or orders that will harm humans.
When we were in the military,
what would you to those?
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, where they have a choice of walking away because they're not the military and stuff, but even the military, I guess, would be: is your grandmother proud? Is your grandfather proud? Are your mom and dad, are they proud? What are you actually doing this for? Are you doing it to protect them? Like when I went in, that's basically it. You got to ask yourself, are they proud? Whether they're here or not and stuff. Look at yourself in the mirror. and your true soul will come out. You know, no peer pressure, no dollars, nobody throwing promises at you and stuff. Look in the mirror, think of your Grammy, think of your Papa, whoever, and they'll give you the answer. You already know the answer. You're just clouded and stuff, you know. You got to be proud of yourself. You got to do the right thing. We all do know what's right and wrong, you know, for society and individually. You know, I know what's right for me. I know what's right, what I think is right for society. You know,
it's like a common sense. We have it. We just got to remember it. You know.
Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. Common sense. Grandparents. You know, right? Yeah, we were talking. You know, and if you didn't have grandparents, you had uncles or you know, foster moms, foster family and stuff. There's somebody in your life that you wanted to make proud at some point. You know, a coach. It's just when you're a kid. You know, when you're a kid and growing up, football coach, whoever. You got to ask yourself, are they proud of you at this moment if you're in ICE and you have no problem with what's going on? To me, there's something fundamentally wrong at this point and stuff. I mean, you know, you turn it against your own citizens. When the Marines were in L.A. and stuff, right. Oh, my God, my heart dropped and stuff. All I could think of is, I know what I would do. Yeah. I would go UA. Yeah. I know I wouldn't follow orders against my own citizens and stuff. You're not supposed to be deployed anywhere on these soils and stuff, you know?
Unless it's to maybe help a natural disaster.
Natural disaster, all with it. You got the National Guard, too, but if they need reinforcements, absolutely and stuff.
All that money went to ICE, right? Or DHS, right?
$7 million. Geez, how many homeless veterans? Right. And besides veterans, I'm a veteran, you're a veteran. How about we go after taking care of women and children that are homeless? I don't know what veteran out there, if they had a choice of a woman and child being homeless next to them and they're homeless, that wouldn't sacrifice their bed for them. You could put every woman and child, you could put every veteran, anybody that needs assistance for that kind of sick money. $70 billion or whatever it is, reflecting pool, $30 million is, you know, he's completely robbing, you know, the country and stuff, you know. You know, back in the 19th century, they're called robber barons, you know. Him and his family and all his friends and the wealthy, they just keep getting wealthier and stuff. I got no problem with somebody being wealthy. Mackenzie Scott, I look up to her. She's a great lady, donating billions of dollars. You know, hey, keep your money and stuff, but stay out of the public sector. You know, let us have a vote. You know, the Electoral College, that needs to go. One person, one vote. It's never been that way. This isn't the 19th century anymore. We don't need that. Wyoming has a vote. California has a vote, right? I mean, everybody in those states should have an equal vote. You know, Wyoming, one person should have a stronger vote than somebody in California or New York. So that needs to go bye-bye. So there's a lot of things that need to change, but it needs to be like the saying, that blue tidal wave. I wish there was a third party. A third party, none of this would be happening and stuff, you know. I really don't see it. But where you got a two-party system, you know, it's ebb and flow. You know, every generation kind of goes back and forth. But this right here, this is it's not a natural disaster. This is an internal disaster. Exactly. You know, exactly. It could have been prevented, but you know what? You gotta move on. You gotta learn from it. Same thing. Stick your head in a history book. Learn from history because it repeats itself. All great empires fall from within. And you don't think the world is saying that about us right now and stuff? Absolutely, they are. You know, so yeah, that's about where I am.
Mike, thank you so much for your time, buddy. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And then can you hold up your sign for the camera really quick? It says Trump equals treason on there.
Mike, before you go, can you hold that? I just want to get take your portrait right here.
All right, Chad. We're about to be heading over there. The program has begun. There's speakers. I got John Farina behind me. He's taking some photos. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys are watching on Status Quo News, MeidasTouch Network, Mercado Media, wherever you guys are watching. Just engage with the stream. Like button, subscribe if you guys haven't. Put in the comments, flood the comments where you guys are tuned in from. What city, what state, where in the world you guys are watching from. Again, we are live here in Biddeford, Maine, covering ongoing protests. This is day 5 of protests here in Biddeford, Maine. We are just down the street from where Columbia National 25-year-old Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed in cold blood. And again, on the street up there, which we've showed on stream and we will have video, the blood stains are still in the street, you guys. They're still there at the vigil just up the road from here. So we're about to go into the crowd. We will continue talking about that. We might go up to the vigil. We'll see later, but we're going to go in and listen to the speakers here in Biddeford.
Get close to the speaker.
And not even tell them what to do. Just let them out there on leash.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that.
You know,
Excuse me, buddy. Sorry about that.
many of you thought we could breathe a sigh of relief after the horribly named Witch of the Day came to our state. It took about 200 legal meetings in 1 week.
Excuse me.
They've been gone for many months, but I want you to know, in my office in Portland, we have a steady stream of wonderful Mainers who come in and tell me their stories and tell my staff their stories every single day. Sometimes they come in because they're looking for a family member who was picked up, and they don't know where they are, whether they're in Louisiana or Arizona or Texas or Massachusetts or New Hampshire. Sometimes they just can't find them, and we have to help them seek out that family member and that neighbor. Sometimes they come and tell me, like a nurse did recently, said, I work in the ICU at Maine Med, but I had a knock at my door, and I didn't dare answer. And we had to tell that nurse, you know what? You're probably not safe answering. You should stay in your house. Because otherwise he would be in detention, and we didn't know when we would get him out, or when a lawyer would get him out. Many of you know in May, I traveled to Dilley, to the Texas facility, to bring home Olivia Andre, who with her family had been there 6 months. A 19-year-old girl who had lived in Maine. She was a CNA. She was studying in nursing school. Her family had been picked up and kept there for 4 months, and then they kept her for 2 more. Wrongfully detained her, and 2 days after we visited her in Dilley, the judge let her out. But you shouldn't have to have a congresswoman visit you in Texas to bring you back to Maine. But I will do that any day of the week. This is not what we want happening in Maine. You know, these are, as you know so well, the reason you're here is because these are our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers. And you know, people on the outside say, oh, they're taking our jobs. Well, we know that's utter bullshit. These are helping our Maine businesses survive and thrive. These people are working in our facilities across the state. They are wonderful workers. Some of them are engineers and doctors just waiting to get their licenses. And many of them are working in our hospitals and nursing home, taking care of your grandmother and mine. These people are important parts of our community, and we are being told, oh no, they're the criminals, they're taking your job. And none of that is true. They are using every trick in the book to pick up people because they're trying to meet a quota of 2,000 people a day and take them to horrendous detention facilities. I've been in them where the food is bad, the conditions are bad, and sometimes you can't even make a phone call home. We are taking people all over the country in for-profit detention centers that are getting somebody rich at quotas of, as I said, 2,000 a day, and these are people who are legally here, should be allowed to stay in our country, and these are your tax dollars. I want you to know I'm going to continue fighting for you to make sure we stop giving the money to ICE, to make sure we don't have any more of these unqualified and untrained officers like the one who fired the shot here in Biddeford. We're going to make sure we don't have any more for-profit detention centers being built around our country. And that we end the ruthless, illegal pickups going on across our state, because they are continuing to do it every day, and no one should fear for going to work, going to school, or worrying that they will be shot and never see their family again. So, abolish ICE. It's over for them. Thank you very much for standing up. Shelly Pingree, come on.
Activate Maine, I don't mean to be a commercial, but it has a calendar. It has a calendar of events all over the state, where you can go, what you can do. There's also an ICE toolkit of actions you can take, things you can do right now. One of the things that you can do actually is speak to your neighbors. If you see a person who might be living in fear, looking around, are they a friend? Are they a friend? I don't know. Are they safe? Smile. Just fucking smile at them. Say hi. Build the community. Ask them if they need anything. Can I help you with something? That is where the change and the security in where you live can come from within. And while people fight, like Shelley Pingree, Senator Markey, and our next speaker, who is also a representative of yours, Speaker Ryan Facto.
Good evening, Biddeford. Good evening, Maine. Good evening, neighbors. Look at us. This is what being a good neighbor looks like. This is what it looks like when you stand up for your neighbors, you come out and you show support for those who are expecting us to be their voice in this moment. We are the ones we have been waiting for. On Monday morning, in our city, in the district that I represent in the Maine legislature, as you all know, a young man, a young father, a husband, a brother, a son, was shot dead in our streets by a federal agent working on behalf of our government. That is wrong. That is disgusting. And we will not sit back silently anymore. We are rising up. We are speaking out. We are showing up. We are saying, get out, get gone. No more ICE in Maine. No more ICE in this country. We are standing here for Johan. We are standing here for Carolina, who spoke so eloquently yesterday, shared her voice with all of us finally in what could only be an unimaginable amount of grief and pain, to stand at a mic and say what was on her mind and what was on her heart. I will never forget her words. I will never forget that moment. I will never forget her pain, her grief. She is who we are fighting for. And listen, Maine, listen, Biddeford, we have a long history of telling hateful people to turn around and get out. Almost just over 100 years ago, in 1924, the mayor of Biddeford penned a letter to the city of Saco, who at the time had a group of KKK members who were planning to parade from their city across the bridge behind us over into Biddeford. And the mayor penned a piece in the newspaper, and I've got it. And I think these words mean something as much today as they did in 1924. He said in part, "Last evening, Biddeford papers contained the account of an interview with Mayor John G. Smith of Saco, in which he has stated his willingness to allow the organization calling themselves the Ku Klux Klan to parade through the streets of Saco. He incidentally took occasion to mention those whom he termed the Biddeford Roughnecks and various unfortunate experiences he had with this element. I might ask the mayor, is this a blanket indictment of the cultural status of the neighboring city of Biddeford? The young citizens of Biddeford have never appeared in gangs with masks to conceal their features. Sound familiar? To my knowledge, they have never gathered themselves together for the purpose of organized intimidation, if not violence. Sound familiar? The Kluxer element has never hesitated to rail at and revile the objects of their disapproval, Mayor Smith. Their declared champion has never yet taken occasion to call them to account. Why this outburst against those merely chose to call names in public? Unquestionably, in Mayor Smith's mind, the citizens of Biddeford are uncouth and uncultivated because they have not banded themselves together to make cowardly war upon those who differ in race or religion. Unquestionably, too, it is elevating to run rampant in ludicrous garb, burn lumber in geometric arrangement, and mouth excretions of one's own fellow citizens. For my own part, I wish to warn the Kluxers and their friends to remain in the friendly precincts of Saco on Monday, September 1st, and at all times thereafter. I intend to use all sources at my command to prevent this lawless organization of forces of bigotry and ignorance, which unfortunately exists in our neighboring communities, from exciting acts of violence in this city. And with those words, I echo them today. I share the same sentiment to the members of the ICE, to agents who plan to be here, who think they should come here. Do not cross that bridge. Do not cross the city line. Do not come to our city. Do not come to our state. Get out of Maine. Get out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. Thank you.
ICE out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. ICE out of Maine. Yes. Thank you. That is amazing. Thank you, Speaker Ryan Bachtel. Give him a round of applause, please. Powerful words. From then till now, Biddeford is not going to stand for it. Up next, we have an amazing community leader, and he is the founder of the Carolina, I lost the page, I wrote it, Carolina Peace. Oh, it's so good, too. Founder of the Carolina Peace Center. I just gave them no peace. I'm so sorry, Faisal. Ladies and gentlemen, can you give a warm round of applause to Faisal Khan, please?
Thank you, Rachel. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause to the organizers and everybody been involved in organizing this event. Sarah, Rachel, everybody else involved in this. Now, we are here for a reason. So, are we ready to fight back? Well, if we're really going to fight back, it's got to get better than this. Biddeford, are we ready to fight back? Biddeford, are we ready to stand up against this fascist ideology? I'm going to say one more time because I don't see this loud enough, because it's got to be so loud that all the way down to the Pennsylvania Avenue they can hear us loud and clear. Biddeford and Maine, are we ready to fight back? All right. Thank you. I want to start today by naming something that should alarm every single one of us in Biddeford, in Maine, and all across the country. In the last 2 days, the so-called border czar, Tom Homan, warned that there will be more bloodshed unless Democrats stop speaking out about ICE. And and Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller has spent the same week casting the people mourning, the people asking questions, the people demanding accountability as the enemy. Let us be very clear about what that is. This is not a concern for public safety. This is fascist language, dressed up and draped in the language of law and order. And the danger to this country is not the grieving mother in the Biddeford. It is not the neighbor lighting a candle. It is not the liberal left. The danger is hateful rhetoric from the people who hold the power, aimed at the people who have none right now. Now, let me tell you about Biddeford. This city, this beautiful, small, proud coastal city. And Joan Sebastian Guerrero was part of that beauty. He delivered food on the streets. He walked with his daughter on these sidewalks. He built a life here with a wife who loved him and a little girl who still asked for him every night. Johan is part of Biddeford now and forever. And I hope, and I truly hope, that one day soon a street in this city will carry his name. I hope this city honors him for the rest of its existence. Honored by his name, honor the street where he was martyred, honor his wife, Carolina, honor his daughter, Dulce, and about everything, and honor every immigrant and every refugee who calls Maine home. Now, let's take a second and look around this square, look around this park. Let's just look around. This is not only a melting pot, this is not only a beautiful mosaic, this is an amazing, breathtaking canvas, wide and unfinished, painted in every faith, every color, every background, every ethnicity, every race, every religion, and every religion not religious, and every love. Just look around. This is the new America. And in the future, this is exactly how America is going to look like. But there is an ideology. There's an ideology loose in this country right now that does not want to paint on that canvas. It wants to burn it. An ideology of hatred and white supremacy structured into policy, aimed at the people who make this nation strong. Instead of embracing them, instead of thanking them for making our towns more vibrant, more alive, more whole. Our diversity is our strength. Here's what we know. The man who killed Johan, the ICE agent from Maine, a man with a documented history of violence toward women in his own life. And the agency that hired him gave him a badge and a gun. That demands answers. That demands answers. So today, all of us together, united, we demand the Maine Attorney General to launch a full, thorough, transparent, and rigorous investigation. Not just into the Monday morning, but into how a man like that ever came to wear that uniform. So we ask and demand for justice right now. Joan Sebastian Guerrero was not a collateral damage. He was our brother, our neighbor. He was Biddeford. And we will not let his name or this canvas we are all part of be erased. So I ask you today, while we stand here, all of us are concerned about the future of our children and grandchildren. It's incumbent upon all of us now to organize in your communities, to get out and vote, and to hold your elected officials accountable from both parties. And fight that. Be unafraid. Come together. Build your community. Do not give up. This shall pass. And I urge you to keep fighting the good fight. Thank you, Biddeford.
Let's praise our God, yes. Look, we all know that we are having these huge problems with the disillusionment of what's going on in the government and all and how and the primary and all that, right? But we all know that a woman who votes to fund $70 billion towards this needs to go. Do we agree? Do we agree that we will do what it takes to get her out? Do we agree that we will disagree until we agree to get her out? Lastly tonight, I want to introduce a wonderful new friend of mine who is a member of the Colombian community here. And she is an amazing woman, and I'm going to cry, sorry, her community is struggling. And she just is such a wonderful person, and whatever we can do to support her and the communities that are under attack, you can visit activatemeeting.com, and there's all the things to do. But I would like to introduce Fernanda McLaughlin.
Good evening, everyone. I want to really say thank you to everyone for coming. As a Colombian and a community advocate living in South Portland, advocate for the Hispanic community in Maine, but really for everyone right now, because I don't know if that matters. No. I am heartbroken by the death of one of our neighbors, Joan Sebastian Guerrero. As an immigrant, I am speaking to all of you today because I have a history of advocating back in Colombia, but also I stopped back in January with everything that was going on. I was like, I think I'm just gonna stay quiet and not talk for a bit, not even going to work or doing anything. But I finished a program with the city of Portland that I don't know if you guys are aware, but it's called Natural Helpers. And they pretty much encouraged me to keep advocating, so here I am. One more time, a kid, a 3-year-old, is separated from his father. And one more time, a wife is separated from her husband. Joan Sebastian's parents are in Colombia right now waiting for their son to come back dead. I am a mother of a 4-year-old boy who looks just like me. And we weren't able to go to work this week. I just feel like sick of thinking how I'm going to explain to him why. And as he grows up, thinking, life is, we try to make it good for him, and, we live in by Willow Beach, so we have really good time there, but it is hard times. One more time, our community is traumatized, and one more time, we are left with the same questions. Why? How? Who will be held accountable? We were crying about a man killed in Texas by ICE a few days ago. And now we're crying about a 26-year-old father of a 3-year-old little girl right here in Maine. We are doing everything we possibly can to find ways to unite like this and to heal together. Because we think that every human being deserves due process and dignity. When law enforcement, I'm gonna say it again. When law enforcement takes a life, transparency isn't political. It's the bare minimum. We need a full independent investigation now.
Yes!
This is not just about immigration. It's about whether we value human life in Maine. It's about whether fear gets to rule our towns and cities, or whether we choose compassion and justice. I stand with Johan's family and with every immigrant who today feels less safe in the place we all call home. Please don't stay quiet. Call your officials. Support immigrant organizations. Speak up. This only changes if we refuse to accept it. Thank you so much.
We are coming to the end, and I just wanted to introduce Holly and Sandy, Biddeford Saco for Racial Justice, and make one clarification. We are not all immigrants. We are on stolen land. Indigenous people have been here 13,000 years, and that's one of the mistakes we made. Another mistake is we don't have deep relationships with Presente right now, and so yes, we were in contact and asked them to come, but they would be good to be here speaking with us. And part of social justice work, social change work is, you know who doesn't make mistakes? People who sit home and do nothing. So we do something, but we make mistakes. And I hope as you leave today, you take inspiration by all the bands and the people, peacekeepers, and everybody who showed up today to make a difference, and that today is not the last day anybody does this. In fact, tomorrow, National Day of Action happening, Justice for Lorenzo and Joan, Jail All Killer ICE Agent Saturday, July 18th in Monument Square. There's information over at the table from the group organizing this. As you leave today, know that this is not the last day. There's tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and we need to show up until there's change. Every Friday here, there are marches at 4 o'clock, rallies, and we need to see you out here. We need to make it known across the country that Biddeford is not going to settle for ICE in Maine.
I'd like to just invite everyone to consider going over to Scarborough, to the Scarborough Ice Facility, 11:30, during the week at the Scarborough Ice Facility and at the corner of Holy Donut on Route 1, 11:30 to 12:30 on Friday. We need to see more bodies. Thanks.
Free food and water for those over here as you head out. Grab a friend. Tell somebody when you're going to be out next. Thank you for being here. Let's play some music out.
All right, guys, so you just heard from various speakers here in Biddeford, Maine. I'm going to rejoin John. Got a little close so you guys could hear up at the sound stage. So again, guys, we're here in Biddeford, Maine, inside of John. This is a Monument Park. It's Mechanics Park. We'll be in a Monument Square tomorrow in Portland. Okay, so I'm getting Memorial Park. So we're here in Memorial Park, just down the street from where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed in cold blood by ICE agents, guys. And I just want to say that we have been the only, well, you guys can see some cameras here now because there's a bigger crowd, but we have been the only news platform out here telling the story from the moment it began. And also, we've been telling the story of ICE throughout the last year. Please, statusquo.com/join, less than $5 a month. You can become a member of the channel and support independent media. Please do so. It helps keep us on the ground. All right, John, so we're going to go find some people. Now, okay, thank you so much. So some people are starting to leave the park a little bit. We're going to walk around, maybe find some folks to talk to. We can go over here. Maybe you see some people over here. People brought musical instruments out. There was a band out here earlier. Hi. Good.
I saw you at the Newark Ice Facility.
Yeah.
I'm the scary liberal.
Yeah, for sure. I'm live with Status Quo now. Do you want to talk or no? Are you going to be out tomorrow? Okay, maybe you're both.
I'm here until.
Yeah.
I came in Wednesday.
Okay. You want to talk tomorrow then, maybe? If you want. Okay, her voice is a little out, so maybe tomorrow. For sure. Oh, well, I'll see you. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm Andrew from Mercado from Status Quo News and MeidasTouch Network. Give us your name and what brings you out here.
My name's Holbrook, and I've actually watched both Mercado and Status Quo for a while. I got into Status Quo back when Jordan was talking about them not letting the United Health guy get his laptop, and I got into your channel shortly after that. Wow. I have said a million times that I think you guys should be on Nostr, and I don't know if that's ever reached anyone but like the people that are watching the chat. I mean, all I can do to try to get it to you guys is like reply to you on X, it was Twitter, and like put it in the YouTube chat. I don't know if you ever actually see it. I know that X doesn't always give notifications for people that don't pay for the blue check, you know?
So what's Nostr?
So it's a semi-decentralized social media network that I think could be more decentralized, but it's good enough at least that there's no way to ban anyone completely. So there are no rules except each individual person's rules for what posts they're willing to put on their server or what posts they want to have in their feed. And I don't think that the other social media wants people to protest. And I noticed back in the George Floyd protests, people always said, like, it's going to stop when the Democrats take over. Everyone will suddenly not care. And I said, no, I think there's a real movement starting now, and it'll keep going. But I was a little bit disappointed with how it ended up. And I think that's partly because of the fact that everyone keeps using the same centralized media that doesn't want us to keep pushing until there's real change. I don't know if Nostr is good enough to work yet. I know that if you join Nostr right now, like my sign says, you might find it's just not worth using. But I think that it's just hard to even get people to learn about it. It's hard for it to grow without people at least being aware of it, you know what I mean? And so I came out here today to try to spread the word. I was hoping I would be able to run into you guys. I figured by being here there would be a chance, so.
And I appreciate you. And then just reading your sign, it says Facebook, Reddit, Together apps don't want you to protest. Nostr has no rules, no bans, and almost no users. So
I just want to wrap up. They're going to march to the memorial site.
So you want to talk to us? You want to go up to the memorial?
Yeah, sure.
We can talk on the way to the memorial.
Sounds good.
All right. So yeah, let's just get up to the front. So are you from here? We can stay with him.
Sorry about that.
Oh, what's up? Oops, I'm sorry. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
I originally grew up in New York, and I moved up here a few years ago because the cops kind of chased me out of my home state. I was a delivery driver, and I'm a very safe driver. I don't speed, but they were giving me things like seatbelt tickets when I'm only driving a block on city streets, or the worst was parking tickets when I was just stopping in front of the place I delivered for to go in and pick up my deliveries. And so I ended up just leaving the state because I thought they were like targeting me personally and making sure I'd never be able to progress there, you know?
Yeah. So you got a new start, you live now in Biddeford here.
Actually up by Bangor. I drove down here because the protests in Bangor are always very small and they fizzle out so quickly that I don't even have time to join in.
Yeah.
I'll see them happening while I'm like driving to do something I don't have time to stop doing, and then...
Yeah, it's the same troll stuff that we see all over the place.
Yeah, I was surprised actually that there are almost never agitators in Maine. Like in New York, I've been to protests down in the George Floyd time. I've been to protests all over the East Coast, and Maine has a lot of supporters and not too many people that want to start fights. You know.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time, buddy. Thank you for your message for that, and then reach out to us. All right, Chad. So we'll catch up to the front. There's been an impromptu march that has started that's leaving Mechanics Park and going up the hill to the vigil where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed in cold blood. Got John Farina with the camera, and we're walking alongside this protest, which again is pretty sizable. You got maybe about 50 to 100 people marching up the hill here, and at the very top of this hill is the crime scene location. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Andrew Mercado with Status Quo News. Mind talking to us while we get up the hill? Are you from Biddeford?
Nope.
Where are you from?
Wyndham.
Wyndham. First of all, what's your name?
Ryan.
Ryan. Nice to meet you. What brings you out to Biddeford?
Supporting.
Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory. What are your thoughts about what happened on Monday?
Bullshit. It's like they got trained on an episode of South Park.
Yeah.
When Ned's like, it's coming right for us. And then gives them the right to shoot him.
Literally. It's like they have free reign to do whatever the hell they want, and like I guess people like you using your voice are trying to draw accountability to that.
I think just everybody showing up as a community is peacefully is the way to do it.
Because there's nothing wrong with this. This isn't extreme, this isn't terror.
Blocking traffic, but other than that,
I think they'll be okay with it just for us to get up the hill.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, buddy. I appreciate you for talking with us. All right. Hey guys, if you're just joining us live, we are on our way up the hill to a vigil, which is also the scene where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was murdered by ICE agent Monday. And we're going to get up here to the top of the hill, killed by 37-year-old David Broylette, who also is a Maine resident. He was identified yesterday. We have extensive Associated Press reporting that give details as to his character or lack thereof, which also helps in providing the truth for what we are seeing from these ICE agents across the country. We're seeing this, again, he was known for abusive behavior, unresolved PTSD. He was abusive. And who all knows what wasn't reported? Who all knows what wasn't? Thank you. So, it gives that, like, who is being tasked with enforcing the laws or whatever laws Trump makes up, because they're clearly not even following the law. But when you have mass federal thugs coming here and doing whatever they want, getting paid millions in your taxpayer money, it ain't right. See, guys, this is what John's showing you guys here, and you can see that it's been chalked that this is blood. You can see the blood still on the streets that was washed away from where Joan Sebastian Guerrero was laying when ICE agents shot him in the head. And while he was already dead, they had him on the ground and put handcuffs on him, and he laid here for 5 hours. So there is still blood stains in the street. And again, you guys can read that with the chalk. And then you got chalk that says, we will not forget. And then more chalk that says there is more love than hate in the world, and we will prove it. And then we're getting more sidewalk chalk as we speak here. I believe it's going to say you didn't deserve this. Here you got the Biddeford police came up here, as well as the sheriff.
I want to get some B-roll here, but see if this woman wants to talk.
For sure. I'm from Minnesota, and my friends are from Eastern New York. I am Mercado. Awesome. Okay, and then I'm reporting for Stats. Hey. Good. Yeah. Oh yeah. How you doing? Good. All right. So first, let's start with your name.
My name is Emily.
Hi, Emily. You're a resident here?
I'm a resident of Maine, not of Biddeford. I live outside of Biddeford. Support my community.
You're here to support your community. Where did you come from?
I came from Lewiston.
Lewiston.
Yep.
And so we've heard from other people from Lewiston that you faced a mass shooting there a few years ago.
Correct.
And now here in Biddeford, you have an ICE shooting. Did you ever think that this national story that has been going on would ever come so close to home?
Definitely not. I'll be fully transparent. This is something that you see, on your phone as you're scrolling. I follow like Aaron Parnas, so many different news anchors, and you see this happening, and you think about what would I do if this were to happen in my community. And I was born in Boston, adopted, grew up in Maine, has been here since I'm 11 months old. So this is my home, and the fact that we woke up on Monday morning to see that not only was a community member shot, but they were wrongfully murdered by ICE agents. I am sick. I am disgusted. I have been out here as much as I can be, and I will continue to be here.
What is your thoughts when they say that those ICE agents killed Johan to preserve the safety of the community? Do you feel safe when ICE agents are just using whatever they want and doing whatever they want?
Absolutely not. During Catch of the Day, in the winter, even if we were legally born here, people were being racially profiled and pulled over based on their skin tone. Myself and several other people that I know were carrying their birth certificates, SSNs, passports, anything possible in case we were to be pulled over by ICE agents. The fact that somebody lost their life here on our streets I'm still processing the fact that it even happened, but I am just incredibly hurt for our community right now, and we need anybody possible to come out and be out here with us.
And it's so scary to think like how much you have to remember to bring your birth certificate or your passport. That's not something that white Americans have to worry about or others have to worry about in this country. Right. But since this ICE terror has come, black and brown Americans, no matter what type of brown or black you are, these ICE agents are going after us.
Yes, that's the truth. And a lot of people, I'm on the local news pages and I see all of the terrible comments that are on there, and a lot of people are saying that us black and brown people are the racist ones. They're throwing the Uno reverse card back at us, but that's not the case at all. It doesn't have to do with us being racist. It's just be a realist. It's the facts. It's the facts. If you open your eyes and you see what's happening in our country, you'll understand why black and brown people have to continually bring identification, because we continually every single day have the risk of being profiled, and this is a clear example of that. Johan was legally here, he had an SSN, and he was still profiled, and he was the wrong person on the warrant. Even if it was the right person on the warrant, they have no ground to shoot anybody, end anybody's life. But his car was still going in a circle after they shot him. It's disgusting, and I can't believe that it's happening here. It's happening anywhere, but especially in somewhere like Maine that competes for the whitest state in the entire country. Why are they hyper-focusing on us?
Exactly, and that's the point. Is this is one of the whitest states in the country? You still have ICE targeting no matter what. So they're profiling even harder because then they got to really look for black and brown bodies in a state like this.
Right, there's not a ton of us out here. You know, like I said, I've grown up here. I have seen the diversity progress and become better, but we still have a lot of work to do. So much work to do, but it just doesn't make sense to me why they're even focusing on us on the first place.
But also, like you had mentioned earlier, this country has a history of targeting black and brown individuals even before ICE, because ICE has only been around. I'm older than ICE is. ICE just started in 2002, 2003, but this problem in this country has been going for a lot longer. Do you think an issue like this could be just simply voted out in the elections, or what do you think on that?
I think that where we start is voting people out. We need to get Susan Collins out of office. Susan Collins, I'm 29 years old. Susan Collins has been concerned since I've been single digits. She's been concerned, come up with a new word. But that's where it starts. It starts with having an entire blue wave. But even when we vote correctly and we vote Democrat back into office, we still have so much work to be undone. We have so much work to be undone, but this is only the beginning.
Exactly, and especially because if there isn't some change, the fear of this coming back again, right? If there's a status quo that we return to, kind of like business as usual, that didn't happen. There needs to be some accountability. Do you agree?
Absolutely. There does need to be accountability. Do I think there will be? That's a different question.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time. One more time, your name?
Thank you. My name's Emily.
Emily. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah,
good. Skin guys. We're at the intersection of Pool Street and Hill Street. Vigil and also crime scene location where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed by ICE on Monday. So really quick to note is it looks like Biddeford Police has actually blocked off this section of road to allow for protesters to exercise their First Amendment rights. And so on each side of the vigil to the left of your screen and then down the road to your right, there's a white truck, and that is Biddeford Police Department just making sure that the protest can engage peacefully without traffic driving through. So they have that extra protection right now from the Biddeford Police.
like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is 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 what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
Thank you so much for what you're doing.
This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what
News here, and like it'll be interesting to see what their coverage is.
This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
It's really, this is
This is what community looks
you
like.
get any of that? It's
Yeah.
so.
This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Tell me what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
Right. Of course, I think you and probably a couple thousand other people will buy the guests.
See you tomorrow, man. All right, so the crowd is now marching again, going down Poole Street, marching past the scene where 25-year-old Joan Sebastian Guerrero was murdered by ICE agents, and we're passing that now with blood stains still in the street 5 days later. You can still see the blood stains from the murder in the road. So now we're going to take off and follow the protests as they're taking off into a march. They're saying, say it loud, say it clear, Johan should still be here. Hey guys, we're live here on Status Quo News, MeidasTouch Network, and Mercado Media, and we're live here in Biddeford, Maine, covering the ongoing protests. We're in day 5. If you guys could take a moment and hit the like button on the stream, just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Those are 2 free things you can do to support. But if you guys, please go above and beyond to keep us on the ground covering this story as it continues. We've been on the ground for well over a year now, covering various ICE raids and protests in response, and now we're here in Maine. For less than $5 a month, you guys can support statusquo.com/join, statusquo.com/join. One more time, statusquo.com/join. For less than $5 a month, you can support independent media staying on the ground, telling this story. I appreciate everybody for doing so. Don't feel obligated to do so, but it definitely helps us stay powered up and doing a journalism for you guys, and we appreciate that. You hear the protesters saying, say it loud, say it clear, Johan should still be here. My guess is we're marching back to Mechanics Park, which again is just down the hill from where 25-year-old Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed by ICE agents on Monday. So we're going down to a park where there has been a consistent protest and people gathering there every day, all week, but especially in the afternoons. But like they mentioned at the rally that they held, every Friday they're trying to have a larger gathering of people because people will be off work. It's a Friday, just trying to be more realistic about the current working situation in this country. And not everybody can make it to a protest or an action, and that's definitely understandable with how much this country asks of us, how much people have to work in multiple jobs just to get by. So you've heard many stories of people where they've literally taken off work, or they're sacrificing their personal time, their personal finances to be here, because a lot of people feel that this is an important thing to do. Go ahead and put in the chat where you guys are tuned in from. On our way back here, I'm just going to read a couple comments in the Status Quo live chat and shout you guys out for all supporting the feed and keeping us out here. Shout out to Jordan for bringing me on. I'm Andrew Mercado from Mercado Media. This has been my first week reporting for Status Quo. I've done streams, but this is their interviewing people and kind of getting outside my comfort zone a little bit. But with journalism, it's very important to do, challenge yourself. And I do appreciate Jordan and Status Quo News and my brother here, John, for showing me the ropes of how this works and bringing me in here, especially since we've been together covering this story, whether I'm on my personal platform or whether I'm here on Status Quo News and MeidasTouch Network. It's I appreciate it so much, the support of independent journalism, because it's unfortunately, journalism is dying out in this country, except for what you guys are watching on your screen right now and the continuous independent media that's out here. What up, California? Little wooden dummy from California is tuned in. How you doing? Over in the Status Quo News feed. We got Ontario, Canada's tuned in. We got Washington is tuned in. Welcome. Good to see you. We got Maryland. We got Henderson, Nevada, Buffalo, New York. I'm going to go shout out to the MeidasTouch viewers too. Let's see who's in MeidasTouch chat. What up, MeidasTouch? We got Chicago tuned in. Maine is tuned in. Cool Breeze Anthony over in the MeidasTouch Network live chat says thank you to Status Quo. Thank you guys for having us be out here and telling this story. We couldn't do this without you guys. We literally could not. You guys that are typing in the chat and engaging and watching, we read all that. Okay, we read all of your guys' comments. We got people on the back end too that are reading what you guys are saying. And truly, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue doing independent journalism. Thank you, Midas Rock, Mod Midas Rock over there on MeidasTouch Network. Appreciate you guys. And also the MeidasTouch Network for hosting Status Quo News and the best independent media conglomerate you guys can find covering the streets out here, you guys. You know, it's one thing to be in a studio, and it's another thing to be out here in the streets talking with people and being in the elements. Videographer John, nearly lost a finger in Minneapolis during Operation Metro Surge. He had frostbite in Chanhassen when ICE was staking out a construction site because they were targeting working class immigrants. What up, San Francisco? We got Canada, Boston. We got Sassy Granny. And name sounds familiar. Minnesota's tuned in. Let's go, Minnesota. All right, guys, we're getting back up to the crowd.
See if this one wants it.
For sure. Even better. So first of all, introduce yourself.
I'm Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. I'm Andrew. And your sign says?
Do not give the police state 1 inch.
Talk about that. What is the police state in your eyes?
Well, I think what we're doing right now, going beyond the organized protest and marching up the street to the memorial site, they blocked off the streets a couple minutes after, kind of silencing us once again. So we needed to be on the move again. People need to hear this. The police state is silencing. The police state is First Amendment zones. The police state is, permits for your protests. Fuck that. Can I swear? Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, don't give them an inch. Don't comply before a threat. And even when there's a threat, don't comply.
Exactly.
We have experience.
Yeah, I was just about to. Yeah, so we've been covering various protests against ICE terror across the country, and we have frequently been put, whether we're the media or protesters, are put into spots where you can protest free speech zone or press jail, we call it too.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. They're silencing you, and they're taking away your First Amendment right. Get out there. Nothing's stopping you from walking down the street with a fucking sign chanting something. And that's what I wanted to see today. After the organized, gathering, everyone was just going to go home. And we need to be disruptive. Someone died up the street. They got shot and killed by an ICE officer. We need to disrupt the system.
And it is a system issue, isn't it? It's not. I don't think it's left versus right. I think it's like the elites and like you have here, the police state, which get the same funding.
They'll come for everyone at some point. Even the people flying their Trump flags across the street from an anti-ICE protest, they're going to come for them too.
And they don't even think about that either. They think they're trolling, but they're going to feel the same effects from this government that anyone in the protest, or especially black or brown bodies, are feeling.
Yes. And we'll have to protect them too when it comes down to it, because we're all the people. Power to the people.
Exactly. Are you concerned? I know you're talking about Monday and what the police did, but we've seen in blue states and Democratic states, the governors and all the elected officials will have strong words. And they'll say a lot of words, but then they'll have their state police or local police brutalize protesters instead. So it's like they're saying one thing but doing another.
Then they do another.
Yeah, I think that perfectly describes like a corporate Democrat, like an establishment Democrat, which we've seen a lot of, with Janet Mills. That's why we didn't want her as our senator. It's a systemic issue, and I think it's powered by fear and threats.
There's an election coming up, a big one, and now there's been more attention drawn to Maine because of Graham Plattner and everything. Do you think this is an issue that can just be simply voted out, or is this you were kind of alluding to it. It did not. Give you your take. What do you think?
I think we can elect better people to office. It doesn't stop there, though. It doesn't stop there. We're at a breaking point, and people need to be disruptive. They need to get out in the street when it's not convenient for them. Convenience, doesn't equal change. We all have to get out when it's inconvenient. Walk in the street when you don't have a permit. Be loud. Talk to your neighbors. This is not something that can just be voted out. The people have to push it out.
Absolutely. What have you been? You're from Biddeford here?
I'm from Portland.
You're from Portland. What have you seen from Operation Catch of the Day back in January to what we're seeing now? Has there been any change in the level of ICE that you've seen, or their behavior, et cetera? Speak on that.
catch of the day was you could be like at an intersection and see 5 or 6 ICE vehicles at that one intersection. It was fast and it was a lot of them, and we're a small city, so it was very visible. Now it is. I don't know what it is, if they're afraid or if there's less of them, but they are infiltrating groups and they're figuring out where people are staking out. And they're quicker in smaller numbers, which makes them harder to track. And they're clearly more violent.
Especially when we hear about David Broylette, who was the ICE agent, and his identification was given, and he's an abusive, toxic, piece of shit.
Yeah. I encountered him at an abduction before, and I knew immediately that it was him. I didn't know his name, but I knew it was the same agent. And yeah, it turns out I don't know how this guy got into another job with firearms. You know, he has an extensive mental health history. He should not be in any sort of law enforcement. I think ICE is a fake law enforcement agency anyway, but he should not be near guns or people, and hopefully he won't be for a really long time.
We can only hope.
It's not just him, though. They all have the same mentality. It's like
Yeah, they're all going to back their brother up. You know what I mean? Fuck them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. One more time, your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Sarah. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
What do you want to do? So you guys just tuning in, we're in Mechanics Park, just down the street from where Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed by David Broylette, 37-year-old ICE agent that had mental health issues, was an abuser, was the textbook, police state thug that were just given free rein to do whatever they want with a badge and a gun. And that's the stereotype that you'll hear in the protest of what these agents are, but then they go ahead and prove it themselves, frequently. So it's not even just the rhetoric of the protests, it's the actual actions of the federal government and the continuous murders and killings that they're doing in the streets, and then also covering it up afterwards.
So there's a guy.
The channel. Thank you so much. We're Renegades. We were all the time. Party Boys and then Go Jesus. Oh, wow. Yeah. Good to meet you. We came up from Connecticut to pay respects and bring flowers and whatnot. And we ended up parking our car in the middle of all of it, and then they blocked us all in, and we went, well, I guess we're staying all day. Yeah. So here we are. John, John,
how you doing?
Oh, I know. No. I'm okay. We're in a situation with the way the things are going. Hell yeah. We're heading back home. I got a dog at home. We just wanted to come up and do what we had to do, and we wanted to say hi before we left. Say hi to Johnny. Absolutely. Yeah. Nice meeting you. Very, very nice. Very nice. If you say hi to me in the chair that gave me, you're like, I was the little one. They keep saying you're like me. I kept going, no, I'm the short one. He's like here. All right. It was good meeting you. Very nice meeting you guys. Thank you.
So I'm with Status Quo News. Just first of all, tell us your name.
I'm Alex.
Alex, and you're from here.
Yeah.
Tell us about what's going on, man. What have you been seeing?
I've been here for about 11 years. It's the longest I've lived anywhere before. And the town is just all coming together right now. Like, the first No Kings protest that I attended here in Biddeford, I was the only one with an anti-ICE sign. And now it's like you got anti-ice signs everywhere. People are putting it on the chalk on Main Street everywhere. So that's great.
Why do you think it's expanded to where it's at now? Like where you said you were the only one with an anti-ice sign. Obviously, you have when murder's so close to home, but you know it's still like a lot of people still have to come out to protest in order for it to be seen like this. So why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I feel like Catch of the Day definitely started people to realize what was going on. But if you're not woken up after this, I don't know how you are going to wake up. If you're living in a town and it happens in your town, you're not going to wake up if this doesn't wake you up.
Did you ever think that this would come? Like me and John have covered these ICE raids and these protests in Chicago, Minneapolis, Los Angeles. Did you ever think it would come here to Biddeford?
No. I mean, I'm not surprised, but no. It makes you start feeling like you're in a simulation when shit like this happens where you live.
What do you feel about it though? Like, what do you want to see? Do you want to you have arrest David Broylett now on your sign? Talk about that.
I mean, that's the bare minimum. We know who he is. I learned about his name because I've found articles about him. One thing that annoys me is the media doesn't actually say his name like right off the bat. Like it should be in the headline. Everyone needs to know his name. He should know no peace. If he doesn't get arrested, no peace.
Exactly, because what gives him the right to just take a human life like that in the manner he did, and then when we're seeing these federal agents get to do whatever they want, and then just regular working class Americans are struggling, struggling to pay bills or health care or anything, like, what are we doing? Like you said, it's like it feels like a simulation.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's definitely surreal.
What was it like? You said you were out here during Catch of the Day?
I wasn't here protesting during Catch of the Day. Like I said, my sister, she's more involved with like actual organizers, Maine People's Alliance, so shout out to them. So she kind of got me into the No Kings thing. I went with her one time, and I had like I said, the no ice sign. Yeah. People were like walking around looking at all the signs like, yeah, and they'd see mine and it'd be like, I don't know about that one. Yeah. But now everybody knows. So
yeah, we had talked to one elderly individual. He was just mad that the fuck word was on there.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that interview. And it's like, I get, you don't want your granddaughter to see bad words, but honestly, how many T-shirts do I see with people wearing "Fuck Joe Brandon"? Like you can't be policing people's language when your side is walking around with obscenities all the time. Like they're the most vulgar, disgusting people most of the time.
Disgusting, and then like they're so like they don't even care about anyone, do they? Or it seems like they don't care about just basic human decency.
They've been so propagandized. It's like I'm someone who. Like David Brooks said, be kind to people, ruthless to systems, or something like that. And definitely that's important because a lot of these people are just our neighbors that have been brainwashed, like our co-workers, and it's like they're people that they're trusting the people that they trust. And it's really hard to break them out of that.
It's like these informational silos that we get put into, right? Like you find your favorite like a podcast nowadays, and then that one podcast feeds you everything, and that's why people, believe all types of crazy things.
Yeah, you got Joe Rogan. Yeah. Like, I mean, at first he used to push back on people, and then like when COVID happened, he would have his own friends that were like pro-vaccines and things like that, and he would not give them an honest conversation. He was attacking them immediately, and these were people that were supposedly his old friends,
And for me, like you bring up Joe Rogan, I used to watch a Joe Rogan Experience like back in the 2015s era, like like the mid 2010s, because he would have interesting conversations. He had a great conversation with Bernie Sanders, and like that's the first time I actually watched a full Bernie interview because I was like, okay, Bernie actually seems like he has some pretty decent ideas, and I was very glad that Joe Rogan talked to him. But like you said, platforms like Joe Rogan or others too, because it's not just him. They're platforming this hatred, they're platforming these lies, or furthering the Trump administration, Peter Thiel, right, with the AI and all that.
It is scary as hell. I mean, they're pretty much going to brand us all as terrorists right now. Like, I was at the vigil on Monday, and there was a drone flying above us all. We're wondering whose drone was that, because I don't know if it was the organizers, or was that ICE, like, we're all on a database. And we need to keep ourselves safe. We need to organize.
And those are all very valid things to be worried about. In Minneapolis, we had the IDF wanted to use their own drones in Minneapolis, the company that does them, Skydio. So I feel like the forever wars in the Middle East and the funding that goes to that. They're all connected.
It is all connected. Like, I mean, October 7th happened, and I knew that there was more to it. I mean, I didn't even really know what Israel was before October 7th. Like, I heard about them. We hear about them all the time. A long time ago, I remember hearing that our police were being trained by the Israelis, and they make it sound so cool. Like, they'd have those, like, Spike TV, like, they'd be talking about that all the time. Oh, yeah. So it's like they're training our police and ICE to do this to us. They're kettling, corralling us. It's disgusting.
Very disgusting. Thank you so much for your time. One more time, say your name.
Alex.
Alex, thank you so much. Good talking with you, buddy. Thank you, of course. Brad, are we good? Guys, we're live here in Mechanics Park, just down the street from where 25-year-old Colombian national Joan Sebastian Guerrero was killed by ICE agents here in Biddeford, Maine, just 5 days ago. Yeah. Yep. All right, chat. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to read a couple of the messages. Midas Rock on MeidasTouch Network says he finds the coolest people to talk to. It's Maine. Everybody here is cool. I mean, have we had a bad conversation, John, with anyone, whether they're left, right, or anything? Like, it feels like people here have common sense, right? Because there are people that have been right-wing that have talked to us, but they're not down for the federal thugs at what they just did up the street. They're not supportive of that at all, and we've been seeing that and hearing that. So, love the people of Maine. Let's check out a few status quo comments. And again, guys, you guys can see that we've been live on the ground here all week. We're going to continue through the weekend. It's my birthday on Sunday, so for my birthday, I would like you guys to support, the GoFundMe for the family, and I think that's over $400,000 right now. Let's try to get that up even higher for Joan Sebastian Guerrero's family. Again, mods, if you guys could pin that GoFundMe in the comments, I'd appreciate that. And then after you do that, support independent journalism. Support statusquonews.com/join for less than $5 a month. You can keep us on the ground. Like me and John are out here. We've been out here since Tuesday, and we'll stay out in all these stories as long as you guys keep us out there. All right? Can you guys hear me? Check. I'm reading some comments now. I just read some comments. You guys can hear me? No, yeah, I don't know what they're saying. Chat, you just turn your volume on. I'm reading my comments. Mods, you guys can hear, right? Just double check. Just want to make sure. Troll Slayer 007, how you doing? We got Kinky Streets in the chat over on Status Quo News. Good to see you. We got Call Me C over there. Hello, how you doing? I'm going to read a couple comments over here from around the world and who's here tuned in Maine. You guys can hear me. Okay, good. What up, Sarah Koo? We got Jay Lopez tuned in. We got Maine. Lots of Maine viewers tuned in. Tons of Maine viewers. I have the live chat open right now reading some of your guys' comments, as there's still about, maybe 30, 40 people out here just to the left of the camera still protesting, and they're going to continue protesting for a while. John, we're going to... For sure. So on the top here, it says Maine grieves. And then there was notes written on some note cards, on some 3x5 note cards. It says, rest in power. I'm so sorry this happened to you. We were the same age, just different. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Justice for your family. This one reads, no one's life means less when we share a planet. Rest in power. A couple other ones here read, everyone is welcome. My heart is broken, but we will stay strong and resist until ICE is gone. Okay, just reading some of these. Some of them are written in Spanish. Compassion is more powerful than hate. Everyone deserves love. Okay, you got more here. I'm just going to move this so I can read. It said, you were important. You matter. We won't forget. Okay, and again, you guys can see these messages are all over this fence here. Is kind of like a vigil in the park. You have a vigil up on the street where the crime was committed, and then here down in Mechanics Park there is a bigger vigil. There's more room here in the park it's a busy intersection up there in the street, as you guys saw when we were up there, and it's kind of tight space, so there's more room to put candles on the ground, flowers, and various sentimental items. There's the Bluey character that's out here. His daughter had a Bluey blanket, and so that was brought up there. You got, looks like community sidewalk chalk. And that should just also show you this community, because, in some other places, it's like leaving stuff out like this. But here in Maine and in Biddeford, this is a community gathering. People are coming and grabbing sidewalk chalk and then making messages on the sidewalk just behind where you guys can see this vigil. And some of those messages read, "Justice will come for you, David." Talking to 37-year-old ICE agent David Broylette, whose identity was given to us yesterday for his acts on Monday, killing Joan Sebastian Guerrero in cold blood for no reason. Let's just be honest, no reason. Other than David Broylette should never have been a federal agent and should never have had a firearm. And you guys can see there's flowers written on here, looking at some more of these signs. You got not the target, still the victim. ICE lies, neighbors die. You got Trump must go now. RefuseFascism.org on there. You got abolish ICE and remember Johan. Okay? Justice for all, end ICE. And then you got a few others too, like Donnie T is a little fucking bitch on one of them, So, yeah, I mean, what we're hearing from the people out here, either left, right, or center, is that they don't support what happened on Monday. Okay? They don't support it. They don't support mass federal agents being able to do whatever the hell they want in our cities, whether it's a big city or a small, tight community here like we're in Biddeford. All right? We're good, John? Are we going to wrap? Okay. Chat, I appreciate you guys for watching, whether you're watching on Status Coup News, MeidasTouch Network, or Mercado Media. You guys can check out my personal YouTube if you want more from me personally. Mercado Media, don't feel obligated. I appreciate everyone for supporting my reporting, and also the great John Farina behind the camera, and everybody that supports independent media. If you guys are watching, please consider, well, first of all, hit the like button and subscribe. That's free, so do that. So you have to do that. But then please consider supporting independent journalism for less than $5 a month, you guys. It's literally cheaper than coffee, and it's one time a month. And I know I buy coffee every day. I need caffeine to get through my day. So I would be buying, probably 5 Status Coup memberships a day, all right? And we're only asking for one a month, just one a month, all right? And that will help us stay on the ground. And I say us because I'm holding the mic. I'm supported the same way, you guys. Okay, so you're supporting you're supporting Status Coup, and you're also supporting MeidasTouch by supporting independent journalism here on the ground. And again, that is statuscoup.com/join. Okay, statuscoup.com/join. statuscoup.com/join, and you guys can support for less than $5 a month, and I appreciate you so much for keeping us out here in this amazing community. We're going to be live tomorrow at the National Day of Protest. What time, John? Do you remember? It's let me get that really quick, because I want to make sure, because if case notifications get messed up tomorrow or something, I want to make sure, let me get this for you guys so you guys can make sure you know when to tune in. Okay, at Mercado Media, we have a Discord server, or, at Status Coup News, or even at MeidasTouch Network. Make sure you guys put your notification bell on YouTube. That's the biggest thing you guys can do to make sure you guys are notified, okay, because YouTube doesn't do it all the time, but you have to hit that bell and set it to all, okay? So tomorrow in Portland at 3 p.m., National Day of Action in Portland at the Monument Square. Okay, that's Saturday, July 18th at 3 p.m. Monument Square in Portland. Status Coup News will be live on the ground covering what's happening in Portland, Maine. We've been live in Portland, Oregon. Now we're live in Portland, Maine, and we're going to be live for the Day of Action tomorrow. And again, specifically, we're going to be focusing on justice for Lorenzo and Johan, who Lorenzo was killed in Texas. Okay, and now we have Joan Sebastian Guerrero here killed in Maine. Okay, guys, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. I appreciate you so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment in the comments. Tell us how we did. Tell us how you feel. All right, leave a comment in the comments and say how you feel. Appreciate you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Andrew Mercado from Status Coup News and MeidasTouch Network and Mercado Media. I'll see you guys later.